What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. If you remember from the last episode, we're down on the OEB meadow, subsoiling it first, and then spreading muck, and now we have to go down and plow. I also have the case down, the Puma, down with the power harrow because I'm going to power harrow it after I'm done plowing it, before I seed it, so that the soil can be as loose and fluffy and have the best seed bed possible. If I'm going to do all this work, then I need to do all the preparation to get the soil as right as I can, to get the grass as good as I can. Otherwise, this is all just an exercise in exercise, basically. So I might as well go ahead and hop in, get this fired up, get some beacons on since we'll be going down the road with a big old implement on the back. And we will go down, assuming I can make this swing, which I probably can't, so I'm not even going to bother trying. Go down to the OEB meadow and get that plowed. Hopefully we can get it plowed in this episode and maybe power harrowed. It depends on how long it takes. It's a weird shaped field. But I'm not so worried about plowing it all. I'm just worried about getting the bits that I actually cut plowed out. And then obviously power harrowed and reseeded. That's the plan. We'll see how it all works out. I have to go all the way around because I didn't think I could make that turn out of the between the wall and the gate there, so that's okay. Not that long of a trip. It's funny. For some reason, I was really looking forward to doing this. I'm not sure why. I don't do a lot of plowing anymore. I try not to anymore. Of course, with soil mod, soil mod really wants you to plow, a lot more than I do. And to be honest, that could probably be part of my soil problems that I'm having in the game. Is that I'm not really following the soil mod workflow the way that I should. But as far as my technique in the story goes, I prefer not to plow any more than absolutely necessary. But this is something that absolutely has to be done. These fields need to be reset. These meadows, they're not in great shape, as you would imagine. They've been meadows for a very, very long time. So, okay, now this is where it's going to get tricky because this is a little bit, as you guys know, of an odd-shaped meadow. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here. Are we actually plowing? Yes, we are. Okay, just wanted to make sure we're actually plowing. I'm going to... 5 miles an hour should be okay. And we'll turn the beacons off. Don't need those right now. I'm not going to use GPS or anything like that because, again, we're rarely going to be going in a straight line, so... What I don't want to do is get the plow up into this, into these rocks or anything like that. So. Caneverlands are on sale. Awesome. Very good. I get those texts once in a while. The dealership, I think they're automated. I think Chad programs them into his sort of marketing system, and then they go out to everybody who's on his mailing list, and if you've bought anything from him, you're pretty much automatically on his mailing list. So we get those once in a while, which is neat. I think this is about as far, well, I know this is as far over as I'm going to go. Even this, I don't know. It's a little, like I said, because of the rocks and everything, and obviously those rocks have been there for a billion years. I'm not moving them. So, realistically, I could probably not bother with the top end of this meadow and only do the bottom, but every little bit of grass helps, I think. So, I think we'll stay with the sort of weird shape at the top. Now, I am going to plant what is commonly referred to as soil mod grass in here. It is grass that does not take away the field boundaries, or the field texture, I should say, underneath the grass, and will allow weeds to grow through it. Now, I know you're thinking, BP, geez, isn't it enough work without having to worry about grass? Yes, but you know what? Weeds grow in real grass, too, so... And I'm curious to see, I'm pretty sure it's going to use whatever texture I have for grass, I'm pretty sure it's going to use the same texture I have here, so I'm not too worried about that. And it'd be nice to have, good, strong meadows that are growing good, productive grass. I gave some thought to going right up against the hedge here, but you know what? I don't cut that, so I'm not really going to worry about it. I don't cut it because of the trees. I don't want to have to zigzag in and out of the trees, you know, just for a little bit more grass. It's not really worth it to me for the amount of work that it would be. Soil moisture is really good over here. Obviously, you know, no N, but that'll change now that I'm plowing it in. But, you know, the PK is really good. But again, grass isn't really all that concerned with PK, so. My biggest concern is to get these fields to where they'll actually, you know, the grass can actually uptake the N. That's my biggest thing. It is the thing I'm having the biggest problem with. So, hopefully breaking this all up and, you know, getting it turned and getting it, you know, soft and so that there's not, you know, hard clumps and layers of compacted soil that the roots can't get through, the N can't get through. You know, that's all what this is about. Obviously, still the same day. You know, we're still on doing the same day thing. It's 11 o'clock. I got to say, I'm really enjoying this format. And again, I feel kind of silly because, you know, this is absolutely the way I should have been doing it all along. It just makes the most sense, you know. You know, this day is going by pretty well, I think, and everything's working out pretty well. And it never wasn't fun, certainly, but you know, it seems like it's a bit more fun now. I left the beacons on the case. Oh well. Okay, now drop that again. And slow down, BP. Oh, jeez, what's the rush? Now the ride's going to get a little bumpy, but that's okay. And I know I should be doing this in the cab, but I just... anything like this, because I have to swing my head around so much, I always feel like I'm going to screw up. You know what I could do? I could do it like a big boy and keep the left tire in the furrow, right? And keep that little marker on the hood sort of centered in the furrow, and I should be okay. And if I looked behind me once in a while... oh yeah, that's fine. That'll work. That'll work. Very good. And in that case, we can get rid of that. Now, I could absolutely use GPS, and I might actually turn GPS on once we get down into the flat bit, down into the straight bit down here. But I'm going to freehand, as it were, this bit, just because I think it's going to be easier for me. So Perry and Phil stopped by. I went up to the house to you know, check some stuff and to look at the weather and things like that, have a little bit of lunch. And Perry and Phil stopped by. You know, it's their day off. It's Sunday. Phil worked a little bit this morning, but I usually give him Sundays off. And we were talking about the class, and, you know, and I was sort of getting the smug look, you know, the, I told you, look, you know, and so Perry's actually overlooking at it right now to see if he can get sort of a gauge of what's actually wrong with it. You know, again, I can't do anything about it today. It's Sunday. You know, I'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'll have to call Chad up. He can call the class people. They'll come out and take a look at it and sort of let me know what's going on with it. You know, and if it's something they can fix here, if it's they've got to take it, you know, 150 miles to their big service facility. You know, I hope that's not the case. I hope they can fix it here. You know, it's going to be expensive to fix whatever the problem is. So. Well, you know, again, okay, I gotta have it, so. Every time I get to the point where I really like that tractor, something happens. Although I will say this is the first issue I've had with it. You know, and when I went back to the house to have lunch, I was looking on the Claas website to see if there had been any recalls about that model, about, you know, maybe steering axles or, you know, stub axles or bearings or hubs or anything like that, you know, that may have failed that they were recalling, you know. I didn't see anything. And I'm starting to wonder, did I break something? Did one of the guys break something? I don't think so. We're not particularly rough on the equipment, you know. Can't really afford to be. Can't afford to tear up the equipment. So I don't really know what happened to it. If it's a manufacturing defect that they're not aware of, I know I've heard, you know, of other people having the problem. So I'm not the only person who's had the problem, but I'm just curious as to what's causing it. And I suppose once I get the Kloss guys out, I will find out. Yep, doing pretty well, I think. So just keep the wheel in the furrow. Here it gets a little weird. Keep the wheel in the furrow. Keep the bonnet marker or the hood marker on the sort of middle of the next part of the meadow. So that made no sense, huh? 11 o'clock in the morning in real life. I've had a couple of cups of coffee. You'd think I'd be mildly coherent, but oh no. No, no, no. You know what? I'm going to go right to the edge here. Okay, now we can lift it. And back in we go. And lower. And back in. And there we go. Yeah, probably once this bit's done, I will... in fact, I'm just going to go up and down in this bit to get it done. And then we'll probably use GPS down on the main part of the meadow. Now, you can see the nutrients are starting to turn in, right? We're 6, 7, you know, up here, which is great. That's fantastic. That's exactly what I want. So, what I might do is I might power harrow all this. And then spread some slurry on it to just fill this up with N as much as it'll take. You know what I mean? I'd rather have more N than no N. I'm at that point now where I'm really, you know, sort of nervous about my N problem, and this should solve it. This will be like brand new dirt, you know, it'll be a brand new meadow, so I shouldn't have too much of an issue with it after this. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go to about there, lift it, then I'm going to have to turn it. Get turned around. Back in the furrow. Make sure I'm watching the correct side of the wheel this time. I wish I could have used the Kloss for this. Having a little cab suspension wouldn't have been bad. I mean, this is not an uncomfortable ride, certainly. This doesn't have cab suspension, but it does have seat suspension. So, you know, this is just a good, heavy tillage tractor because it's got all the features. It's got all the electronics. It's got all the, you know, the electronic traction control and the, you know, the stability control and all that. So, this is a very, very good tractor. And to be honest, I'd buy another one. You know, it's very expensive, but certainly worth it. I'd have to check my documentation, and of course I could always ask Chad too, if I could get a loaner tractor, like a you know, a replacement tractor, if the Kloss guys have to take my Kloss back to their main service facility. Because I don't know that I want to, if it's going to take a week or 2 weeks, I really can't be without a tractor. So I'm going to have to see. I would imagine there's got to be some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Provision. That's the word I'm looking for that in that service plan. So I would think. I would hope so anyway. Yeah, I'll get this bit here finished up, and then we'll go down to the flat part of the meadow. Then I can use GPS. Okay, that should do that. That'll just get turned around. Do the 360-degree head thing, right? Oh, excuse me. RIP headphone users, I apologize. I need to get some kind of... you know, this is where I really wish I had another screen, and I could just, you know, sort of reach over and, you know, use maybe a muting software or something that'll mute the audio. I mean, I can mute it in Audacity, certainly. If I had another monitor and I could have Audacity running, you know, I could just reach over and hit mute, and then I wouldn't have to blast you guys' eardrums every time I cough or sneeze. Only having one monitor, though, makes it a little tricky to do things like that. I'm going to do this bit out of the cab just so I don't miss it. I got to say, I really enjoy plowing. You know, it's too bad I've sort of adopted this anti-plowing thing for the story, because I do really enjoy it. Okay, now, let's get this last little bit. Oh, I missed some right there, too. So you know what I'll do? I'll get back off the field. And we will run straight down the middle of this. Clean this bit up. And then go do the bottom part. And probably use GPS, I guess, so I can go in a reasonably straight line. No real need to go in a straight line up here because there are no straight lines. Okay, that'll do. I mean, yeah, look at the difference already. Just by plowing, just by getting the N in the field, right? It has made a massive difference. Or getting the muck, I should say, in the field. It's all N. I have N on the brain. Soil moisture just perfect. The N is good and high. The PK is high. So, very, very, very good. I will make one pass this way, though, just to kind of square this off. You know what? I can drive mostly in a straight line, right? I'm not going to mess with GPS. I don't really need it, so I'll just do this completely by hand. Why not? This is probably going to take a little while. You know, it's just one of those processes that that takes a while to do, and it's not a big meadow, certainly. But it's big enough, especially when you're only using a 1.6 meter plow. And you're not flying along. I certainly don't want to go 11 miles an hour across this. This case is powerful, but, at that point you're skipping the plow over the ground. And it's not, the mold boards aren't digging in the way they should, so. Plus this field's a little wet, not so much on the surface, but underneath it's a little wet, so I don't want to go too fast, because like I said, I don't want cake frosting coming off the end of the plow, so, because that's no good. All right, now we can get picked up and get turned around here. Gonna have to leave a little bit of a headland, I think. So we'll just turn over to this, back up a bit. Get the plow turned. Nope, this way, BP. Where you going? Get lined up again. Drop the plow, and off we go. How are we doing? Just fine. Excellent. As long as I keep... The problem is that keeping an eye on what I'm doing, ahead of me and what the plow is doing is tricky. This is when I wish I could use my mirrors, and I could use them. I mean, I could turn it up. I could turn my graphics up enough that I could use my mirrors, but, I don't know. It gets a little stuttery. Not awful, certainly, but a little bit. And it's just something that I can live without, so. Oh yeah, I mean, look at the levels. I'm so happy. This is exactly what I was hoping was going to happen. So now again, I may just bottom part is, the end's not bad. It's 5, 7 going up as we go higher. I may actually come down here after it's all power harrowed and spread some slurry on top of it before I plant. Jeez, get through a sentence, BP. Get through a sentence. You'll be okay. I'm just going to grab this little bit right here. Oh, and as soon as we go in the right direction. Oh, I have the plow turned the wrong way. You big silly. Put the dirt back in the furrow. I know in the game it makes absolutely no difference, but what I should probably do is straighten it. I think I'm going to straighten this off. I'm going to make one pass down the middle here just to get a straight edge. You can see the bits we haven't plowed. You know, you can see right here, this grid that soil mod is reading has no N in it because, you know, we haven't plowed it in yet. So, but where it's been plowed, the N is coming up. So I'm very happy about that. That was a big, big deal for me. I need these meadows to be as productive as absolutely possible for me to make as much not money, but to make as much grass as possible. So I can feed my herd, which is going to get bigger. I've pretty much decided, you know, me and Phil and Perry have had to talk about it. I've pretty much decided that the way to go would be to make the herd, to sort of expand the herd up to 200 cows. I think that'll be the maximum, though. You know, and just hold on for as long as we can. You know, in the dairy. So, since when does cruise control go backwards when you set cruise control? I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but it was definitely going backwards. Or maybe I'd stepped on the pedal, I don't know, but it looked like it was going backwards to me. So probably what we're going to do is, for this episode, we're probably going to plow this, and the next episode will be power harrowing and, well, let's get back in the cat, BP. We'll be power harrowing and seeding it, you know, and we'll decide if we're going to spread slurry on it or not. I mean, do I want to, you know, honestly, I wouldn't mind so much getting a massive reservoir of N in here. The only problem is that with soil mod, you know, the yield will definitely increase if the numbers are too high, so, you know, all stuff to think about, obviously. Probably trying to do it a little bit more right would not be a bad idea. You should probably turn around once in a while, BP. See what your equipment is doing. Make the turn. There you go. This case turns fantastic. I mean, there's never any issue with the way this case turns, so. All right, how are we doing here? We doing okay? Yep, we're doing fine. The hood marker right on the edge of the part we haven't plowed yet, and off we go. Working just fine. Someday, I would very much like that thing to actually work, you know, the green star or the field monitor, or whatever you want to call it. That would be very cool if it could actually work, if you could get GPS in that, you know what I mean? So that it was integrated into that, you know, monitor, so that you could see where you are, you could see what's going on around you, you know, and you could get all the information that, you know, the real life tractors have. You know, that's got to be coming, right? I mean, games are getting so advanced now, especially simulators. You know, simulation games are getting so advanced that's got to be coming. I mean, I don't know. Will that scare people off? Will that scare, you know, casual farmers off? I don't know why it would. I mean, you don't have to use it, right? You can just look at it. You know, if you're not using it, you're not using it. I don't think it would necessarily have to scare anybody off. I just don't see any real reason not to make this a full-on simulator. You know, maybe it's just me, and God knows that, you know, I've always said this too. I'm a big believer in toggleable options where you say, you know, yeah, I would like this, but I don't necessarily need this, right? And I think that would make it more accessible to, you know, people who just want to play, who don't necessarily need it to be a full simulator. Someday I might actually learn how to plow. And, you know, not leave these big triangles. I guess I don't really have any choice, though, because of the shape of the meadow, so. I'll go up here and get this bit I missed, too. Captain Snuffy, right? Go figure. And you know what? It's April, what? It's late April anyway. I'm not exactly sure what day it is, but it's late April. And you know what? It's going to be 35 degrees tomorrow here in New England. We just cannot catch a break. We cannot win to say, you know, it was really warm and rainy, and my grass came up and everything looks good. My flowers are starting to come up and all of that. And now it's going to be 35 degrees. I just can't win. Oh, well. It is not 35 degrees here in Old Ridge, though. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it's fairly warm. So, yep. See, you can see now where we've plowed the manure in. The N is going up a little bit, right? So, and as we plow more in, the N will go up even higher. So, that's awesome. That's very, very good. That's exactly what I wanted. So, I know I can't make up my mind whether I want to do this in the cab or out of the cab. I just always feel like I'm missing stuff when I'm out of the cab. I have no confidence in my own ability to do certain things inside the cab. All right, let's not drive through the hedge, though. See? It was definitely going backwards. So that must be a... I have the newest version of Drive Control installed in the mod folder right now. So I wonder if it's not Drive Control that controls that now, where you can actually go backwards in cruise control. That's interesting. If that's the case. Not necessarily sure why you'd want that, but okay. Whoa, whoa. See, why I can't turn around and drive at the same time. I end up all over the place. I should probably turn the graphics up and turn the mirrors on, just so I can get an idea of what the plow's doing behind me. Give me 1 second, guys. Just gotta get rid of the phone. Of course the phone's gonna ring, right? Oh. Should leave the phone on the shed. Leave the phone in the shed is what I should do. Turn around. Now, I also believe that because I'm plowing this in, it's acting as a green manure. So it's adding to the, the N from the manure and the N from the grass that's going in. So that's all good things. N. The more N we can have, the happier I'm going to be. I didn't turn the plow around. You big doofus. I always like the sight of a freshly plowed field, too. It's one of those things. Now, it's a little weird sometimes because of multi-terrain angle, because it will just, the texture will follow the, whatever you do, whatever direction you go in, say. So sometimes you get a little bit of a weirdness going on at the ends of the field where you turn around if you don't lift the plow quick enough. But it's still, I love it. It's absolutely, I think it's a very, very nice looking thing. Oh, just missed a whole bunch there, but that's okay. I'm going to go back and cut a couple of headlands in there anyway, so. Of course, the whole idea of me going down the middle of this meadow was to straighten it off. I'm not really doing so well at going straight, though, am I? This is probably going to turn out to be a longish episode, but again, I want to stick with the get one thing done per episode format. I don't really want to make this a part two or do a part two of this plowing, What I want to do is I want to finish the plowing, and then in the next episode, we'll power harrow it, and if there's time after the power harrowing's done, we'll seed it. That's the goal. We'll see how that actually ends up working out. There's not that much more of this field to do anyway, so it shouldn't be too bad. And lower, and jump in. Nope. Thank you. Now, the only thing about planting soil mod grass over here is this is going to cost me a little bit more money in herbicide because I'm going to have to put herbicide down here to keep the weeds out. But okay, it's worth it, I think. Plus, it's one more thing to do, right? As far as the game goes, which is always fun. I was talking to Mike earlier, and it's raining like the clappers, I guess, up the other end of the valley. So you can actually sort of see the clouds up his end of the valley if you look, close at the sky. It is not raining here though, so that's okay. Certainly this water situation has worked out far better than any of us could have possibly hoped for. In the sense that, I have not had to water anything yet. I know Mike is just, like I said, just sort of getting ready to plant. So. He's not thinking about watering anything, but with the rain that we've had in our area and around us, we've been very lucky and we've done very well. So we might be all right as far as water goes this year. And I'm sure that at some point, with the amount of water we're getting, that they're going to lift the water restrictions anyway. So, and hopefully we'll be done with that. Of course, I would be willing to bet, well, you know what, it wouldn't even be a bet. It's an absolutely sure thing that the Crawford Browns are fully aware of Mike, getting ready to have this election for parish council, which I'm sure they probably snigger at a little bit, like, little provincial parish council, who cares, right? Yeah, but the problem is that that's where it all starts, right? That's local politics. And then you move up to the, to the next level, which would be district council, which is where they are. And you'd think they've got to be nervous. I mean, they've got to know that they have not been the best representatives of Oldridge. You know what I mean? I'm sure in their heads they think they have been, but everybody knows they haven't been. You know what I mean? Between the way they treat the farmers, between the way they treat the, the regular people, the everyday people here in Oldridge, between the cult, between Mr. Crawford Brown and his affairs and all that other stuff. Or affair. I don't want to be unfair to him. Affair that we know of, right? They can't be dumb. They have to be fairly intelligent, especially to come up with some of the schemes that they come up with, right? So they have to be considering the fact that if Mike, and he's made his intentions pretty clear, that he's going to run for district council, that he's really popular. He's been in this area for a very long time, him and his family. And they've got to be a little nervous. I know if it was me, and this was, I was the Crawford Browns, which thank God I'm not, and I was, looking at, we got an election coming up, and we've got this guy who's very popular in the area, very well known, very respected, a stand-up guy and everything else. I would be nervous. That just freaks me out. I'm so used to having to switch directions, or cruise control just doing its own thing, no matter what direction I have it set in, and now it'll go backwards in cruise control. I guess that's handy if you're using a tractor that you've got, like, say, a big mower on the front 3-point and you want to go backwards, but that's another new feature, right? But yeah, if I was at Crawford Browns, I would be very nervous. Let's just put it that way. Oh. That up, get it turned around. Leave it to BP to make, plowing as difficult as possible, right? It doesn't need to be as difficult as I'm making it, but I'm doing the best I can. Wonderful N. Welcome back, N, my friend. It's good to see you. Boy, is this going to be a process, huh? When you think about all the meadows that I have to do. This one, which will be done. The storage meadow. My meadows. A couple of little meadows here and there that I don't cut, but I'm going to start cutting. So I might as well do them all. Plus, kind of the deal we made with the council is that we would do all the meadows in our area, So, I mean, I don't have to do it, but I'm going to honor my agreement with them. I guess I should probably be doing this bit, huh? make the most sense. I get quiet every so often. It's just because, you know, it's funny. One thing about doing this, you know, multiple episodes per day thing is that sometimes I run out of stuff to talk about, which I know is hard to believe for BP, right? You know, BP will generally just babble on about whatever for hours, but I sometimes run out because obviously you're with me multiple times a day, right? So there's not anything really going on, you know. So I sometimes run out of stuff to talk about. That's okay. That never stopped me before. Oh, yeah, this field's going to be great. This meadow's going to be absolutely fantastic now. I'm so happy. BP's happy. This way, please. Which way do I have that? Yep, that's the way I want it. Very good. Lower you. Off we go. Are you, yep. Now, why am I not going down the middle of this? I don't know. Why did I leave that whole strip? I don't know. Because I wasn't thinking about it, I guess. As usual. Oh, I love the lock on this tractor. It turns so good. You know, I was just thinking while I'm doing this that, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just me. You know what? In fact, I'm going to say it's just me because I don't have any experience, obviously, with anybody else, you know. But it almost seems like I'm constantly looking for ways to make Farm Sim exciting. Is there a way to make Farm Sim exciting? I don't think there is. And I'm not, and by exciting, I don't mean not boring, because I don't think it's boring. I could gladly watch somebody, you know, drive a plow back and forth up and down a field, you know, 100 times for half an hour and enjoy every second of it. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy the game so much. I was thinking to myself, wow, we've been doing this for, you know, just about 38 minutes now, and is it boring? I don't know. I guess that's a personal thing. It certainly isn't boring to me, you know. I especially here on Old Ridge, I have sort of gotten to the point now on Old Ridge where I feel like this is an actual real-life farm, right? Where, you know, stuff needs to be done, you know, in a certain fashion, in a certain manner or whatever. Again, with that just freaks me out. Jeez. And I almost feel like an actual farmer on this farm, you know? So for me, it's not boring. You know, again, you're not obligated to watch the entire video. You know, like, what did BP do? Oh, he plowed that meadow and he babbled on for an hour. Right. You know what I mean? I get it. I fully understand. You know, if you come and you watch 5 minutes of it or 10 minutes of it or whatever, you know, you just want to hear whatever I'm, you know, blathering on about today. You know, you want to leave a like, that'd be great. You know, and you can go about your business. I certainly understand. But I don't think there's, you know, this isn't one of those games that, you know, is sort of conducive to a lot of screaming and yelling and you know, and all that sort of stuff that seems to be more and more popular on YouTube lately. It's farming. It should be calm. It should be as relaxing as you can make it, you know. That's the way I look at it anyway. So, and that's the way I want to play. And ultimately, you know, that's the bottom line, I guess. It's you play the way you want to play, right? And I'm making videos the way that I want to make videos. And I appreciate every single person who comes and watches a video, you know, whether you watch for 5 minutes or an hour, you know what I mean? I appreciate every single view, every single like, you know, every single comment. You guys know that. I say it all the time because I absolutely mean it. So, but I'm going to make videos the way that I want to make them, you know, doing the things that need to be done, especially here in Old Ridge, because, like I said, this is almost a real-life farm, you know, with numerous things that need to be done. I mean, every farm, you know, every map is like that, right? But, I don't know, I just get the feeling with this one that it's almost a real place now, so. I don't know, maybe BP's spending too much time playing on Old Ridge and playing Farm Sim, but that's how I feel, so. Why do I jump out of the cab every time I turn the plow around? I don't know. Just because, I guess. I need to be, when you first start playing, well, at least me, I did almost everything out of the cab because I wasn't really comfortable with, plus I was using the keyboard, and I wasn't 100% comfortable with doing stuff inside the cab. And then over the time that I've been playing, I've done more stuff in the cab, so I'm more comfortable with it. But I need to try to do everything inside the cab, I think, especially here on Old Ridge. As I say that, and I jump out of the cab. I mean, this tractor's got a great cab. It's a good place to be, you know. There's nothing wrong with it, so plenty of visibility, you know. That's assuming I know where I'm going, of course. Couple more passes, and we shall be finished. And then, like I said, in the next episode, we will be power harrowing this and seeding it. Yeah, the end. Oh, I'm so happy. That's awesome. This will be good grass in a couple of months, so. Get turned around, get the plow turned around. Yep. I have so many animals to sell too. I've said this a couple of times, but the animals is going to be, is that even a sentence, BP? The animals are going to be at least one episode because there's so many. It's going to be a lot of trips back and forth, you know. But it'll be nice to have the money, that's for sure. You did it again, BP. Oh, that is such a habit. Turn the plow around. Jump in. Yeah, it's a great day here in Old Ridge. It's got the windows open, you know. Could open the roof, I guess. But, you know, I got plenty of ventilation going on in here, so I'm happy. Not too hot. It's not cold. It's just a nice day. And I see that the church people are starting to come out of church now. A lot of them go to church, you know, leave their video cameras in their cars, and then go around in the countryside and video, you know, various things going on, especially now that it's spring and there's a lot of agricultural activity going on. So, did I actually hit V? No, I didn't. I actually have a button mapped on my steering wheel to raise and lower this thing, and I never remember to use it because I don't think I remember what button it is. I need to spend some time, and I say this all the time too. I need to spend some time going through the button mappings and getting rid of some stuff that I don't have anymore. You know, mods that just put button mappings in things, and then you get rid of the mod, but it stays in your input binding, right? So, all right, probably 2 more passes if I'm not a complete idiot, and we shall be done with this. And then in the next episode, we'll power harrow it and seed it. Can you tell I'm running out of things to talk about? I've said that, what, 8 times now? You know, in fact, while we're doing this, just to sort of shorten the length, to keep this video from being, you know, epically long, I will do the outro right now as I almost drive through a hedge. I will say thanks so much, guys, for coming. Thanks for watching, you know, for however many minutes of it you watched. Whether you watched the whole thing, whether you watched 5 minutes of it, you know, it's fine. I completely understand. You know, I hope you guys are enjoying the new format. I know I am. You know, any feedback you want to leave me, any comments, any concerns, any complaints, any questions, anything like that, you know, if I can physically, you know, positively help you with it, I will. If I can't, I'll let you know. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for being my friends. As always, that is the bottom line with this channel. That is why I do it. That it means so much to me that you guys come and watch the videos and hang out, you know, and talk to me and give me tips and suggestions and everything else. That's, you know, that's it for me. That's why I enjoy it so much. And it means so much to me that you guys enjoy it as well. Make sure to check me out on all the social media links that are in the description of every video. Also, make sure to check out everybody on the Monkey Show approved list. They're all my friends. They're all great YouTubers. They all make great content, of various different types. So make sure you check them out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for everything you do for the channel, for coming, for liking, for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you like what you see. There's a lot of stuff to see on the channel. There's a few videos that are actually even very good. And as always, guys, thanks for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.